Check this out. What if I told you that in 5 years from where you are right now as a musician, independent artist, producer, beat maker, singer-songwriter, you could be Grammy nominated. You could have a deal. You could have opportunity after opportunity on the table in the music industry. Well, that's exactly what one of my students, Hostile Beatz, has done. And I'm so excited that I get to share his story with you today. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, as promised, back with a familiar face, a good friend of mine, a former student of mine, an alumni of the program. I know him as Jamie. Other people know him as Hostile Beatz, AKA, drum roll please, two-time Grammy-nominated producer, Hostile Beatz. Thank you so much for being here, brother.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure, man.
Always, always. So those of you may or may not have seen the first student spotlight that I did with Hostile 3 years ago now. It's crazy to believe, but we had to jump back on here because Jamie has such an incredible story. When he first bumped into me and we first started speaking and getting to know each other a little bit, he was a beat maker from the UK. And you know what? Instead of me telling your story, why don't you jump in?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm a music producer from the UK, a little place called Lincoln. It's about 4 hours from the main London that most people have heard of and know. Prior to meeting you and finding your course, I was just that little introvert sitting making beats in a little corner of the room, figuring out a way how I'm going to get rich overnight, like everybody does, you know. And then, yeah, I discovered you on your YouTube, your free videos that you're putting out there, your free information. And then obviously when it came time for you to put up your Soul Music Masterclass, I was the very first student in there, well, the very first batch. I had to, you know, no questions asked. I had to join, you know.
No, man, you know, it's been such a wild ride. This is one thing, guys, that I absolutely love. When I see a student get on a trajectory and just keep elevating and elevating and elevating over and over again. And, you know, Hostile is a great testament to this. He came in my very first ever offered Soul Music Masterclass back in 2018, 1.0. We never called it that, but 1.0. And back then it was this rinky dink little, 12 modules or so. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was still powerful, but I think it was about 12 modules. Jamie came in, joined the Facebook group, the private Facebook group that we have, and we just got to work. And the transformation that I saw with this man before you today, unbelievable. Like, if you don't mind, Hostile, for those that haven't heard your story before, what were you struggling with before you discovered the program? What were you looking to learn? What was your experience maybe with other people's programs? And then how has that had an impact on what you're doing today?
Yeah, so like most producers will know, when you're starting out, it's very difficult to get into this soul music game because, you know, it is oversaturated. You know, YouTube's full of type beats. You know, I've done it all. I've tried the type beats. I tried everything. I purchased courses prior, but nothing was effective. It was just same old recycled information. And I'm sure many people watching this now can relate to the frustration of continuously trying and failing and, you know, getting 1-2 views here and there, and it's not working. You need to figure something out. So, you know, I was doing that for many years, a few years, 2 years, I believe. And I realized the beat making is just hard. It was hard to get into. So I got into selling loop and sound kits. I teamed up with like Superstaro, your good friend, Industry Kit, started providing loop and sound packs. That started doing really well. So after I sustained an income with that, I wanted to get back into the beat making side, get the placements, get the big names, get your name out there as a producer, not just a loop maker. So I then found your videos, as I said a few minutes ago. As soon as you put the Soul Music Masterclass out there, I had to join. Like, it wasn't even a question. Like, I had to do that in order to progress, because I was just introverted. I was hidden behind a logo all the time. Never showed my face. I wasn't very confident in how I conducted myself in the DMs and in person. You know, I never traveled to no studios at the time. I was just sitting in my room, like most people probably watching now, figuring out a way. But I knew I wanted to make it happen. I just had to get that connection, that piece to the puzzle. And I believe Soul Music Masterclass did that for me.
Now, Hostile here came into the program, and I remember it very fondly because, for complete transparency, guys, when I first launched the Sell Music Masterclass back in 2018, it was a much smaller class size, right? Now, when we open up the doors, we usually bring in anywhere between 250 and 300 people, and I think when Jamie came in, it was about 100 people or so. So, we really, really deep dived the experience into turning it into what it is today. And Jamie is such a good example of, I think a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hostile, a lot of people think that my program, my curriculum on YouTube even, or the free videos, they think that I'm just obsessed with people having to post 18 times a day on social media and that you'll never find success if you're not on social media like a mad person. But like, what was your experience, not only with the program curriculum and, getting to know each other a little bit, but like with the action that you took? You and I share a very similar character trait with, I'm incredibly introverted, but as those of you watching this right now can tell, being on video for so long, for so many years, has really built that confidence. It's made me a lot less introverted. And I, just from seeing Jamie several years ago to now, I can tell that it had a profound effect on him as well. But why don't you share your experience with that stuff?
Yeah. So as you said there, many people watching will think that you have to post, so many times a day. And obviously in the modules, you do speak of setting a schedule up, a posting schedule. And now, with the platforms, there's a lot more things than there was back then. There's now TikTok, there's other things and things. It's hard for producers, because I believe sometimes it can take away from the creativity side of things, because we just want to make beats essentially and post them and, make money. So I tried that. As I was saying before we cut off, I did try that. I did try posting regular on social media, but it just wasn't working for me, to be completely transparent. But I didn't think to myself, the course doesn't work. I didn't think, I'm going to hit up Adam and get my money back and refund and say this is crazy. It's not that. You have to, what works for one person may not work for another, and, we can all try. Absolutely. The type beats, the content posting, try it. But what I want to get my point across to people watching this is, for me, I found that the more back end worked for me, the direct communication. You spoke. I won't give too many gems away because people have, but you did speak about how to get emails. How to find these executives and big producers, and rather than just going directly to the main producer, go to his side man, the person that he's always with, or so I did that, deep dived, IMDb for the TVs and films and all that, social media, finding the publicists and the managers, and I think spending equally as long doing that as gathering content to post, equally effective,
Mm-hmm.
So I went that way personally. You put an email template in one of the modules. I downloaded it, tweaked it a little bit, and I just started emailing, not spamming, not copy and paste, tweak it to each person and what needs you're looking for and things and what type of work. So I did that, and I found that to be more effective for me personally, rather than continuously posting. So, it's not all about, posting every single day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Don't worry about that. To those that are thinking about joining Sell Music Masterclass, there's a lot more to it than just posting.
And you bring up a really good point. So, we talk about it a lot behind the scenes with the team, that the music industry is really split kind of like a restaurant, right? You have the front of house, where you have the host, you have the servers, you have the bartender, maybe you have the manager that walks around and kind of manages both. And then you have back of house, the cooks, the bus boys, the food supply, right? Everything to make one business operational. And what Hostile's really saying right now is he tried the front end and he did gain a little bit of traction. He's being very modest, but he gained a little bit of traction. One thing that we both saw is the incredible amount of confidence. I could probably reference you right now, Hasta, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I could probably reference the old video that we did and even the comparison between both. Like,
so yeah, it's just like that. And then when you post a link in there, they'll all flood your comments and help beat that algorithm that these social medias have, the little tricks that it teaches inside the group. Like I say, it's just all positivity, man. Like, it helps build confidence, I find, as well, because, you know, we get so much hate nowadays. People watch videos, hate on us for the way we look or our music sound in a certain way, but inside the Sell Music Masterclass, there's no hate. It's all positivity. Everybody supports everybody, no matter whether you just started out or you're 10 years in. It doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're at. We support each other, and that's the main thing. We're a family of the Sell Music Masterclass.
You just have a whole different level of confidence, which I guess being Grammy nominated doesn't hurt. But, you know, with the back end of the music industry, the Sell Music Masterclass, I really need to rename it because people think I'm just trying to get people to literally sell music. It's more about that. It's about selling yourself. It's about the idea of being able to build a well-rounded music career and have the options to either work front of house or back of house. And we do have a lot of curriculum within the program, especially rolling out 4.0, that is about business cadence, is about communication and networking. And like you had mentioned, we have a bunch of different email templates to do cold outreach, responsive outreach, and that's what Hostile is referring to. But let's kind of take a step back. And if you don't mind sharing, because I'd even love to hear a little bit more detail about it, how you went from a struggling beat maker to being a signed producer, right? To some like major industry heavy hitters. And now, you know, having not one, but 2 Grammy nominations.
So yeah, man, what I want to do is just go back a little bit, you know, a bit before I discovered you on YouTube, your free videos and the Sell Music Masterclass. As you said there, a struggling beat maker, you know, absolutely I was. For about 2 years, you know, I was just making beats, you know, putting them on BeatStars, or at the time it was called My Flash Store rather than Airbit, you know, you know, it's been time. You know, just uploading them, but not really posting them around. And you're just thinking, as most producers do, that a miracle will happen and suddenly you'll blow up overnight. But never happened, you know. So like I said, I got into the loop and sound kit game, and obviously that was that brought an income, which was a sustainable income for me to live off, but not enough to enjoy life, you know. As you know, it makes enough to pay your bills, but you want more. Well, all producers want more. So yeah, I was an introvert, you know, never ever put myself, I don't think there was one picture of me on the internet. So just that alone is crazy to now, that growth. You know, I think I'm starting my 12th year doing music now, which is crazy. Absolutely. So yeah, introverted, as most people are watching this, probably thinking the same as what I thought. Oh, I'm gonna have to get on camera, I'm not ready, I'm not confident. And you know, when I did discover you, and I scrolled and I kept scrolling, I went all the way back to before you was Adam Ivy. You know, I went all the way back, and I watched your videos.
No.
Yeah, and,
yeah,
crazy, crazy. I watched the videos. I saw your confidence. I'm like, you know, if this guy can do it, why can't I? You know, because we're all essentially just human beings.
Yeah.
You know, so you can build confidence. So now to jump back to me joining the course, you know, I took that leap. I spent the money. I believed in myself. Module 1. You make me do a video and post it in the Facebook group chat. And I'm like, oh, no, this is crazy. Like, so I did it. I bit my tongue, I did it. And that's how you build. You just have to dive in and do it and not care what anybody says, you know, because there's loads of people out there that are feeling the same way that me and you felt.
Mm-hmm.
But they just do it. They look confident, but behind the camera, maybe not so. But you build.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then, you know, during the modules, you talk about actual networking now, you know, not just the social media side. You have to travel, you have to get in, you know, and this is giving me anxiety at the time. I'm thinking, oh, I've got to travel. Like, you know, I've spent this money to come into the course and hopefully, you know, just get rich overnight. But it doesn't work. I had to put in the work. I really had to put in the work, and I had to change my whole perception of everything, you know. So with that being said, Illmind, the Grammy winning producer, Illmind, most people would have heard of him. He was coming over to, yeah, absolutely, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He was coming over to London, UK. He does a thing called the Pass the Aux. So I thought to myself, right, this is it. This is my chance. So I purchased the tickets to pass the Orcs. Me and my bro YC went. So we pull up to London. We get in there. I didn't really realise what the event was, you know. And I walk in there, and there's like 40 different producers all sitting around. First ever time of me being in studio. Just joined your class. I'm taking the steps.
Yeah.
You can imagine my heart beating. I'm like, oh, I'm used to sitting in my bedroom here. This is not talking to nobody. So yeah, we're in there, 40 people. Illmind goes round one at a time. You have to stand up and obviously plug your aux in and play a couple beats. So it gets to me, you know, my bro YC, he's almost having an asthma attack. You know, we're both like, this is too much. But Adam Ivy said, do it. So yeah, we're doing it.
Just do it.
Do it. So we stand up. It's my go. I had to introduce myself. You know, play a couple of beats. Amazing. You know, the way you realise that this producer community is actually a very nice community. You know, people relate. You know, everybody's bopping their head to the beats that you're playing, and you're like, oh, okay, this is more settling now. I'm cool. So, you know, we play the beats. Illmind says his thing, and yeah, from there, obviously, we left the event. Illmind pulled me aside afterwards, which you'll see on the last interview we did that I mentioned.
Yeah,
that
it's crazy.
Yeah, we should fly out to LA, you know, so and link up with him in LA. So skip ahead to that. LA comes around, you know, we book the tickets, we go, we fly out there. This is new. I've never even left my country. This is my first ever flight. So we get to LA. I link up with Illmind, and I decided to put a lot of loops on like a USB stick, you know, pass him it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully something can come. I'm thinking, you know, this would be smart here. Give him some loops, see what happens. The show went amazing. Another pass to the Orcs. We met him 2 times that night, so altogether I met him 3 times. Absolutely amazing guy. We come back to the UK. Me and my bro YC are thinking, you know, we've flown all the way out to LA. We've passed a Grammy winner, the USB. That's it. We're going to take off. He's going to reach out. We're going to be big producers. A couple of weeks go by, a couple of months go by, nothing. You know, we hear nothing. And this is where I want to be absolutely transparent with your audience and the people watching.
Yeah, please.
That, yeah, not everything will go the way that you want it to go, but that doesn't mean you failed. You know, there's a saying, you fail forward. Mm-hmm. So you have to go through many fails in order to progress. So, you know, I'm thinking, what do I do now? Like, okay, so let me dive back into the course. I go back in, I load up the modules, I rewatch him over again. You know, I rewatch him, I'm listening to what you're saying, right? I've done the Instagram marketing. It's not quite working the way I want it to. Like you say, I have gained some traction, but I want your type of traction overnight. I'm like, I want to be Adam Ivy. So yeah, it didn't work. Illmind, you know, didn't reach out with the loops. He didn't use any. Didn't get too disheartened. I thought, right, well, let's get back on it. So I'm sitting chilling one night with my bro YC. As you'll know, he's part of my story quite a lot. You know, we've been brothers for many years.
Huge shout out to YC. Good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been there from day one, quite literally. So yeah, we sat there chilling one night. Cool and Dre goes live on Instagram. Does a thing called Beat Talk. I see it pop up and it says, submit your beats. I said to YC, let's do this. Let's submit our beats right now. We may never get played, but let's do that. So we're sitting there, we submit the beats. We're watching Cool and Dre's live, heart beating, because most people know when you submit beats to lives, you can be put on blast real quick. If it ain't mixed right, you're being told. Absolutely. So that alone to me is like being in the room with somebody when you're on live with them. It's very daunting and can be for introverts. So anyway, we're watching it. And he pulls up our beats. And, you know, he says YC and Hostile, and he plays them, and he starts nodding his head. And I'm thinking, no, this is amazing. Absolute great feedback. He liked what he heard, and he said at the end of that, he said, yo, you guys keep sending. Every Tuesday you went live. You guys keep sending. So we did that every Tuesday, and the time difference in the UK, as you know, is you know, about 5-6 hours time difference. Crazy. So he would go live, but in our UK time, it'd be about 3-4 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
So we had to be night owls in order to get this opportunity of just to be played. And some nights we wouldn't even get played because his email would be flooded. He don't favor us and play us. So sometimes we'd stay up all night till 5-6 a.m. in the morning watching it, because he does it about 2 hours, and we wouldn't get played. Didn't get disheartened. You just keep going. So skip ahead 8 months, 8 whole months, every Tuesday, never missed a day. We did it every Tuesday for 8 months straight. And then one day, Cool said on the live, send me your number in the DM. I'm like, this is crazy now. So I send him my number. He phones me up, and he wants to sign us, me and YC. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? I'm shaking, I'm thinking,
I can imagine.
This can't be real. I used to listen to Cool and Dre, quick story. I used to listen to him back in the day on the game, on the Games album, Doctors Advocates and all these, and Hate It or Love It. So now Cool's telling me, I want to sign you guys. I want you to be my UK family, like the UK Cool and Dre. Obviously a very smaller scale, but
sure.
So that all goes through. We get the contracts, we sign. I'm blown away. And then again, being transparent is, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, I sign a contract and you think, well, that's it now. Tomorrow I'm going to be producing for everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Like, don't get me wrong, the success came, but again, it's patience, it's time. It's how things that have always stuck with me from your Soul Music Masterclass is how to conduct yourself. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Stay calm, collected, conduct yourself in a professional manner always. So then months go by, and then I get hit with this big Mary J. Blige record. And as you already know, that's where we led to now, like this, 2-time Grammy nominated. I just want everybody to watch this, and if they see the old video, to also see themselves the progress, like you said.
You know what?
Just be transparent with everybody.
And what I'll do is, if you guys are watching this right now and you want to see the first student spotlight from a few years ago, I'll have that in the description box of this video. Now, Hostile, I don't like taking credit for anybody's hard work, and you've been busting your ass for years. However, do you think, and we didn't talk about this before we hit record, do you think that you'd be at this point right now if you would have never found my stuff or the Soul Music Masterclass?
No, and I can hand on heart say that honestly. I don't believe I would actually be at this point. It's taken a lot, for me, in myself, building the confidence from watching your courses. Just that, going back to the very first time of you putting the Soul Music Masterclass, I was on the fence, I said earlier on, it was no questions asked, I had to do it. But the reality is, everybody will always have that two mind of, shall I spend my money, shall I not? But when I made that decision and said yes, I have to, in order to progress, because I'm this non-confident introvert just making beats, and it's been proven that you can't just make a beat and put it on your beat store and people buy it, especially in this modern day with the technology, the algorithms. And I did not understand nothing to do with any of that, or even how to conduct myself in a professional manner. So I don't believe I'd be at this point. I think everything aligns up, pieces to the puzzle line up. You meet people for a reason. I believe that like I said, I did purchase other courses prior, but I realized it was recycled. So, I just believe we met for a reason.
I think so too, man. And it's been such a honor and such a pleasure watching you evolve and watching you grow and finding your footing and finding your confidence, and even your style has gotten a little bit better since we first met, right? I'm messing with you, man. But
I absolutely agree.
Jamie and I are both car guys. We're both producers. I had my run where I did music full time for a little over 8 years, and Jamie knows my old stuff. But seeing this new generation of producers just come in and kind of take the torch, take the steps into evolving the music industry and bringing real music along with them, rather than some of the stuff that's out there. I'll leave it at that. But with what Jamie, even YC, shout out to YC, learning passively through Jamie as BFFs, as good friends, brothers. you guys have just been so great as accountability partners for one another. I mean, I keep up with YC on Instagram still to this day, and I could go on and on about how proud I am of you guys. But if you just look at the accomplishments in, let's say, 3 or 4 years, right? And how many people think that it'll never happen to them right now, a month from now? They feel like this can't happen. It's not going to happen. And they're intimidated by the mountain that they have before them, right? And I think what really helped you, Jamie, is just saying, you know what, I know I'm going to get there, but I just need a few steps at a time. I just need a few steps. And I can genuinely say that I'm honored that you put your trust in me, because you know now, right? You didn't know this before you enrolled, but you know now that I try to go above and beyond. I try to over deliver, under promise, right? And because with all the students that come through, they're looking for different pieces of the puzzle. Might be social media, might be email marketing, might be marketing psychology, might be their brand is lacking, might be that networking and building confidence and setting goals. But with you, it's kind of a mixture of everything. You went at it in a very methodical way, saying like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to keep my eye open. I'm going to keep my, mind open to opportunities. And now here we are, signed producer. It's just so refreshing. And I think that one thing that's exciting is you're 2-time Grammy nominated now. Where are you going to be when we do another one of these in a few years? I'm really excited about that. Now, as we said in the first video, Jamie, if anybody is on the fence, whether it be a singer-songwriter, whether it be a producer, whether it be somebody in a band, and they're looking at it saying, oh my God, Soul Music Masterclass, it's like $1,000 or like $100 a month or whatever. Like, I can use that money better off somewhere else. Like, you were that guy at some point that was buying other people's programs or spending it on whatever, right? That doesn't matter now. But what would you say to somebody watching this right now that's like, I could probably find all this on YouTube. I don't need that. It's too much money. Like, what would your thoughts be on that?
Well, again, as I've said many times, being transparent, because again, I do want all your viewers, to understand it from my point of view and know that I also understand it from how they're probably feeling. If you're on the fence, and whether you're starting out or you're advanced, however many years you've been doing it, like I was, and you've tried numerous things, and you've tried the type beats, you've tried the posting, you're getting a couple views, couple likes, it's not quite working out. You've got to ask yourself, that money, do you spend it on takeouts? Do you spend it on alcohol? Do you spend it on nights out with your friends or anything like that? What do you spend it on? Is that going to further you in your music career? So, it's worth the investment. Just move a few things around. If it's a bit out your budget, see what you can save on, because, you're not paying that forever. You're paying that for a duration of time until it's cleared off. And then you have permanent access, lifelong access. I still have access now. Yeah. So I'd say to people that are on the fence, look at me for an example. You can always DM me on Instagram and, check out all the information I provided. That is legit. We haven't rehearsed this, No. I say invest in yourself. Time waits for nobody. Yeah. You could be doing this 10 years and get nowhere. I've met people that have been doing it 15 years and they haven't taken that leap still, and they're still asking me, yo, Hostile, how did you become this and do Grammy nominations in 3 years? And I say, listen, it's about investing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, invest, and you spend money to make money. And sometimes, like I go back to earlier on, is you fail forward. Don't be scared to fail. Absolutely do not be scared. My social media is not huge. I haven't got a huge social media following. But followers don't equal success. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Now, it's funny that you said it like that, because so many people are afraid to invest in themselves, right? And I'm not trying to make this a big Tony Robbins thing, but recently I went on Twitter and Instagram and asked independent artists from all over the world how much money you would need in order to make music a full-time career. And the average of all the responses, some of them were incredibly high, some of them were incredibly low. The average fell right around $80,000, right? So I think of it this way. If somebody can help you save a year, 2 years, 5 years off the process, is that worth $1 if you had 80 in your pocket, right?
And so, like you said, it takes money to make money. I think that it takes the intention to invest in yourself. It takes, I'm willing to bet money on myself to make this work. Really no different than if you go to the grocery store and you buy healthier foods, you're spending more money on that. When you're buying supplements, when you're spending money on a gym membership. But when it comes to the education space of creators, I think sometimes we've seen some bad apples, like you say, put out regurgitated products that really aren't designed to help anybody but themselves. And, you know, you are just one of many testaments of how this program can change people's lives. And Jamie, you said earlier that you thought everything happens for a reason, or there was a reason that we bumped into each other. And, you know, I can't agree more. You know, we're here yet again, sharing your story. If you guys get anything out of this, I don't want you to think that it's like a hard pitch for a program. Like you don't have to buy anything, right? The question is, do you believe in yourself enough to take full-time actions on something that you want to be a full-time career? I see a whole lot of musicians out there with full-time dreams and part-time ambition. So we have to look at how can we use tools that are available to us. And if this program, the Sell Music Masterclass, the program that Jamie took, the program that after years, Hostile Beatz still has access to all the updated, all the additional content and curriculum. If you're not getting help from me, I just ask that you get help from somebody, because being able to go to somebody that's willing to help you and save you all that time is worth more than any dollar amount. Because by the time I'm 50, Alex Hermosi says this, by the time I'm 50, I would trade all of everything I own and all my money to be 30 again. So Jamie, one more time, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Guys, if you haven't seen the first video, that might help fill in a few of the blanks from this video and give you the well-rounded start to finish and really be able to see Jamie's evolution into the man he is today. I can't thank you enough for being here, brother. I'm going to put all of your links in the description box below. And, you know, in the meantime, is there any platform that you would want people to reach out to you or check you out on?
Instagram, that's probably the best place. Yeah, I'd say Instagram. I'd hold my hands up. I don't really post much to YouTube and TikToks and things. So Instagram, absolutely. I will try my best to reply to as many people that have any inquiries about the Sell Music Masterclass. Feel free to ask me questions, you know, reach out. I'm human like you. I've been where you've been. So yeah, message me. We can chop it up, you know, who knows? If you do join and I see you in there, we can collaborate, you know, like,
yeah,
just hit it up and work together.
And that's awesome, man. That's an aspect of the program that we didn't even touch on, is the collaborative side of things. But side note, Jamie in no way is an affiliate. He's not on commission. I didn't pay him for any of this. I know that sometimes people are like, this is a paid ad or something. I'm like, no, it's just a student that actually got success because they paid attention and took action. So if you think that you want to take action and you want to be the next student spotlight, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to share all the success stories. There'll be a link in the description box below where you can check out the stuff and make an educated decision on whether it's right for you or not. But Jamie, one more time, brother, thank you so much for joining me yet again. And we'll circle back next time and start racking up the Grammy nominations, and then hopefully the W column, right?
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. You have a great one. We'll see you next time. All right, have to thank Jamie, aka Hostile Beatz, for continuing to share his story with you guys. I'm super excited. Hopefully you've been inspired. Hopefully you see that there's a way for you to succeed. Jamie trusted in us. He came into the Sell Music Masterclass, and right now you can as well. The Sell Music Masterclass is now open for enrollment. I'll have a link in the description box below, or just go to sellmusic.com. Super easy, sellmusic.com. I want to be able to share your story next, but the only way we can do that is if we get started. And let's keep this thing going. Here's another student spotlight that I think is going to open your mind to what's possible in today's music industry. If you haven't yet, click that little subscribe button, smash the like button if you haven't already, and come connect with me over on Instagram or TikTok. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.